Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land. It is 1 o'clock Central Time, and so I am here to tell you 3 things that you're going to want to know about side hustling. So if we have never met, I wanted to let you know my name is Carrie Esho, and my purpose in life is to help people with personal finance, and so I'll do Facebook Live chats like this. We'll talk about insurance, investments, taxes, retirement planning, budgeting, things like that. I've been in the personal finance industry since 2003, and so I want to use some of that experience and share with you today. So let's get into it. Today we're talking about 3 things that you want to know about side hustles. So you're probably asking yourself, why am I talking about side hustling? But I'm really excited about this particular broadcast because a lot of times I'll do budgets for people and we'll come across their bottom line, and it's red. It's got a little negative sign in front of it. And so you scour it and you're like, what kinds of expenses can we cut out? And you do the cut the cable thing. And P.S., if that's something that you would like to hear about, there is a blog post that I will share a link with you about. There's a blog post, I believe it's Blonde with Pearls, and she talks about how she went through and cut her cords, the cable cord. So anyhow, but if you've looked at that and you've taken all the expenses out that you can, you can't really not eat or drive back and forth to your job. So then what's left? So what you have left is, well, we've got to find a way to get that number up to 0. So you've got to increase your income somehow. And that's why I'm going to talk to you about side hustles. So the first thing that I want you to know, this is not one of the 3 things, but I wanted you to know the definition of a side hustle. So in case you're new to the game, yes, I do want to see that. Hold on. Swipe left. Hello. Bear with me. I'm trying. Okay. Anyways, the side hustling, I was trying to see if I could see who the comments and stuff, but I can't see them. But leave them and I'll come back around and see them later. But anyways, the definition of side hustle is something that you do to make cash that's not your regular form of income. So you're not like your regular job. But one thing, so we'll start with this. The first thing you need to know is that side hustling is not moonlighting. Now, y'all, if you didn't have a picture of this man on your bedroom wall during the 80s, what were you doing with your life? You got it out of Teen Bop or something like that. So this is not moonlighting, what you're doing. It's not out there toiling. It's different. And so in just a minute, I'm going to tell you some of the things, some ideas that you can kind of gather from that. So that's the definition of side hustle, something that you can do to get cash, and then it's not moonlighting. That's number 1. So the number 2 thing is to be passionate. Find something that you're passionate about and turn that into a way to make money. So something that I could think of off the top of my head would be if, like my husband, he's a very talented piano player. So he doesn't quilt, but if he did, he could use Etsy as a platform to sell his quilts. But what he'll do is if people want to take piano lessons, he'll give them piano lessons. And, that would be a side hustle. Okay, so that's an example of it. So number 1, find something that you're passionate about. Because the reason I say that is that I was once asked a question that changed my life. Thank you, Pastor Craig. It changed my life, and it was, if you could do anything, be anything. Education was no object. Money was no object. Age was no object. What would you want to do with your life? And I knew the answer right away. I said, well, I'd like to be one of those people who helps other people with their money. I don't know what that's called, but that's what I would do. And so that set me on the path of here I am today. And so it was about finding something that Okay, if I could do anything in the world, what would I do? And then do it. So at the time, I went and called around and said, okay, how do I become a financial person? And a lot of the people just said, well, first thing you got to do is get your insurance license. Okay, so what I did actually, I couldn't find any jobs at an insurance, a life insurance agency, but I was able to find a job at an insurance agency who said, well, if you get your property and casualty license, then we'll allow you on our dime to get your life insurance license. So things like that for you maybe would be, maybe if your employer offers tuition reimbursement, where you could use that to begin to study towards the field of where you really want to go in your life. And that's not really a side hustle, but it's about purpose and finding that a way to make your side hustle into your only hustle, if you see what I'm talking about. So number 2, be passionate. So ask yourself, well, if I could do anything, what would I do? Because if you find, the do what you love and love what you do, those types of things, if you could find your favorite hobby and you could find a way to make income at that, wouldn't that be an ideal world? And so ask yourself the question, what would I love to just get paid to sit around and do all day? And find a way to make money at it. And oddly enough, I asked my own self this question. I was like, I don't know. I don't make anything. What could I do? And then I was like, oh, I can give a service. I can help people how to, give them tips on Facebook. That's a cool thing that I could do. So I have some other examples for you. So I gave you the example of my husband, and then I gave you the example of like Etsy if you like to quilt. Use social media. It's free. You can, for like $5, you can boost a post on Facebook. Like, you don't have to have a huge budget for this type of thing. It's like for 2 days you can reach 1,000 people or something like that. Well, great, and then build off of that, And I'm not saying everyone should have a side hustle. I'm just saying if it's right for you, you'll know, first of all. And then second of all, it's a way to kind of get your budget or your balance sheet to match, okay? So it's something that you can do that's not necessarily a moonlighting job where you hate it and you hate going to it and you begin to regret that you ever signed up for it, and then you begin to kind of hold other people hostage because it's like, well, you're the reason I have to go, or that type of thing. So just find something that's fun, okay? Believe it or not, this is fun for me. I don't know, just the way I was made, okay? So like doing a video like this might not be your gig. Maybe you want to, bake. Maybe you want to make some cakes and you sell them on the Facebook, okay? So maybe that's a thing that you could do. Just finding that, what if you could do anything, or what are you gifted at, okay? If you've always liked math, find a way. Maybe you can tutor people. Things like that don't take 8 hours of your day to do at night. So you can still have a life and still be with your family. So you could use YouTube like that. Maybe you don't have a good, maybe you want to provide a service. So you get a YouTube and you teach people how to repair Xbox, or I don't know, whatever. I'm just grabbing things clearly off the top of my head. Okay, so number 1 is, this is not about moonlighting, it's not about toiling, and it's not about the sweat of your brow. It's about finding something, number 2, that you're passionate about. So that would be an example of something you're gifted at, something that you enjoy, that you can find a way to make money, and using social media to do that. I'm not an expert on it at all, but I'm just saying these are things that I know that can be done if you're the type of person that thinks, I just realized my family's on, if you're the type of person that thinks that this is for you. So what you can do is, I will go back around and read the comments because I didn't swipe left or whatever I was supposed to do. But if you have question that I can try to answer, I will do that. But most definitely, I will find a good source for you to go to who has an expert opinion that we can give to you for that. But also, you may have already tried something and you may have been successful at it. So maybe you want to share that with your amongst your peers. Of course, it's a slippery slope because you're like, well, I have this thing I do. I don't want you to know what it is. I keep it, close to my vest, but I'm not talking about that. I'm like, like an obvious one would be like an affiliate marketing, that type of thing, click-throughs and that type of thing. That would be an obvious one, but that's not really so much what I'm talking about. What I'm more so talking about is something that you're passionate about, that you could ask yourself, if I could do anything in the world, this is what I would do. I love to travel. I would do a travel blog, or, I don't know, just things like that. Okay. So, I don't have well, maybe you do quilt and you can sell that. And if you're not social media savvy, word of mouth works just fine. It'll be all right. So, okay. So those are the first two things. And the number 3 thing is to have purpose about it. So like when I start my videos, I tell you my purpose in life is to help people with personal finance. So with me, you know what you're going to get. And so you can this is not my side hustle. This is my only hustle. But I'm just telling you like an example. I started these Facebook Live videos as kind of a way that I could share some of my experience with you. And so hopefully well, I know it will be a help to you. I do actually know that. Some of you anyways. And then, so like I mentioned earlier, a thing that you could do is while you are still working, you're not really getting paid so much as you're using someone else's resources to get you towards where it is that you really want to be in life. Now, some people may actually be in their ideal job, like myself, but hey, there's always room for more income, am I right? Because there's always more good to be done. It's not so much about, heaping money on yourself as it is of what can I do for others. There's always more work to be done. There's always more giving to be had, right? So not always necessarily about heaping it on yourself, but something that if you're already happy and gratified and in a position in life where you're happy, then I am happy for you. I feel like I'm in that place in my life, but there's always room for more. So anyway, so that's something that you could look at, maybe using someone else's resources, to advance yourself towards your end games, towards your end goals. So a little bit of a short one today, but that's what I had. Number 1 is not moonlighting. It's not toiling. I don't want people to think, oh, well, because I understand, like, there's a good work ethic about working hard, and I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying having 3 jobs, there's a better way. There's got to be a better way. So search, soul search, if you will, and find something that you're like, okay, I can do this. And then honestly, if I can help, I will. But I'll probably point you in the direction of some good resources. Because, see, there's one. If you're really good at knowing how to side hustle, that could be your side hustle, right? You could teach people how to side hustle. That could be your side hustle. I would point you towards resources because that's not my field of expertise. It's not something I'm gifted at, and that would go poorly for me and for you. Okay. So, anyways, I hope that's been helpful. It's not about the toil. It's about purpose. It's about finding a way to use resources to your advantage, using free resources like social media to your advantage. If you don't have a good, you probably have a service. And take that and find some inspiration and go from there to increase your income so that your budget can be a zero-based budget, so that you can bring yourself up into a place where you're not, spending more, you can live within your means each month. So that's, and then when, maybe you're already doing that. Like I say, there's room for more. Why not, right? Russell Wilson, shout out, he says, why not us? You know, someone's going to win the Super Bowl. Why not us? So, you know, there's a lot of money out there, people. And so get it with purpose, though. Not, you know what I'm saying. Not to heap on yourself, but to get it, live a nice, I mean, have nice things. I'm not saying don't, but you understand what are you picking up what I'm laying down? I know you are. That it's not about the almighty dollar, but about what you can do with that. You know, you hear people say that the love of money is the root of all evil, but that's not true. I'm sorry, money is the root of all evil, but that's not true. The love of money is the root of all evil. So money, think of it as a tool, just like a hammer, a sledgehammer, as I know some people who have recently used them, can do a lot of damage, right? But it's not the sledgehammer itself that's doing the damage. It's a tool that if it's, you know, swung, it will do damage. Or, I don't know, something that would be a more positive example. You think of it. I've done a lot off the top of my head. No, but you see, like a car, okay? You drive in a car. The car is not the evil, okay? It's if it crashes into someone, all right? That money is a tool. Money can be used for good, not for evil. It's the love of it that's the evil. So anyhow, the end game is to have your budget match your goals so that you can get to where you want to go, so that you can realize and achieve your hopes and your dreams, the things that you have in your heart that you want to do, that you're always so frustrated because you can't really get there. Well, that's why I'm here, okay? Is to try to give you some things that you can implement to get towards where you're going in life. Because I have passed my Series 7 and 66 exams, which means that I can be employed by a broker-dealer and be a stockbroker and sell stocks and bonds. Now, at present, I am not employed by a broker-dealer, okay? But I have been, and I understand investments. But what I also understand is that it does you no good to understand investments and to tell people, you should invest. And then if you start at the age of 21, true story, if you start at the age of 21 and you invest in 40 years, and when you're, you know, ready to retire, you'll have $1 million. If you invest $100 a month and you start at age 21. True story, okay? But if you're 21 and you don't have $100 a month to invest, then what I have just told you is garbage, because it doesn't help you. But if I can help you get your budget to a point where, okay, not only are we, you know, in a position where we're coming out at zero, we actually even have a little bit left. Okay, then you can begin to strategize and say, okay, what are we going to do with that? How are we going to put this amount of money towards our goals, our dreams? Maybe your dream is to retire early. Maybe your dream is to support a missionary. Maybe your dream is to have a gigantic fat scholarship for your kids so they can go to whichever Ivy League they choose to. Well, I tell mine, they better get a scholarship. That's what I tell them. That's fine, honey. Go on. Go, yeah. I'll miss you, but get a scholarship, because that's how that's going to happen. No, you know what I mean. Just if we joke, we kid, but just to get to and realize your goals. That's the main thing, is that you have that extra income to get you there. So again, not moonlighting. Find some passion, find a purpose, convert that into something that can help you get to where your end game is. And so, guys, I really appreciate you watching. I am here every Thursday, Central Time, and I'd like to have you come back next week, because I'm going to do some app reviews, some personal finance app reviews. That's going to be a humdinger, I tell you. Yeah, it'll be fun. So come on back. Also, you can appreciate liking, sharing the video. Comments I'll respond to personally. Not having my virtual assistant do it, it's me. And then also you can hop over to carriesso.com and you can read about me, carriesso.com. And then you can check out my Instagram. I have @practicalprosperity, and I just do scriptures from the Bible on finance, so that's fun. And then you can check that out. And I really appreciate you spending time with me today. I would love to answer your questions. I really would. I would love to see. I'm in video only mode. It says swipe left to reveal comments, and here I am. You see me? I'm swiping. Swiper, no swiping. Okay, I'm making the video go. So we'll have to banter in the comment section after I end the video. So God bless you. Thank you for joining me. And next week, 1 o'clock, Thursday, Central Time. I would love to say Central Standard Time or Central Daylight Time, but I don't know which one is which. So just join me at Central Daylight Standard Time right here, Facebook Live. You can sign up to get notifications when I go live, but I do always try to put out a reminder the day before or whatever. So, okay, well, I think you're great. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye-bye.